This Arukh HaShulchan, you're there, Siman Yud Ches, Sif Yud Ches to Yud, day 81 of the Supplemental Arukh HaShulchan Yomi series. I have to about show you knives. Ches. Yesh Rabbish Gam Rambam Rashi Zal Sami Karosh Bara'ah. They basking that the Chagir Sipon is getting snagged in the neck. Because Rambam is the same language as the Rif. Because he says there shouldn't be any in the knife, any nick. Even if the furrow, interesting word, was very small, and then he writes, how do you check? It's both you run it back and forth on the flesh of your finger. And then you run it back and forth on your nail. On its three sides, which are the point, I'm not sure how to translate pia in English. That's the blade, but it's all parts of the blade really in English. The sharp part of the blade. Shade up into the two sides. There should be no imperfection at all. Because when he's talking about the Mizbeach, the base of Mikdash, which is also possible as a nick, he writes that any stone in the base of Mikdash which has been damaged, any stone in the base of Mizbeach, which has been damaged, that it should snag the fingernail, like the knife of Shchita. He draws that parallel. This is unfit, kevesh, Mizbeach, even for the ramp. But and for the Mizbeach, I can't show it. Before she frame, it's an explicit way of saying even though Nechashid did not mention explicitly the snagging of the nail, but rather just the smallest nick, he's given Malcolm Acher mentions elsewhere, that's defined as the snagging of the fingernail. So must see it's all the same thing. But he doesn't interpret it as language of belted in, but language of sensation. Or I think it means a lameness. Should be on a Sif Dalet like we saw in Sif Dalet. The snagging of the fingernail should misakebo, that the nail is impeded in it. So that because she explained that a nick is a treifa. So it's explicit that the nail is impeded. That it senses that even a small imperfection. Rashi calls that the impediment of the nail. The words that are astonishing because the Shoni writes as follows: HaShochet b'sakim shechs with a check knife. Beneath his kumin finds afterwards that it is damaged. Raising bail, the animals in the veil. Rambam. The Rambam writes, even if it's a very small nick, the low Yizkir Chagir Siporin does not mention Chagiras Siporin. Here's a Rashi Shir Pagima Koshu. Evidently, that's all that the Torah says that language explicitly. The shear of the damage is minute. The Bachatakaба Koshu, as long as it you have it's choger. I'm translating the word. Even the smallest amount. I feel close to even a hairbreadth, even a hair. My father says the Torah, the Rosh Paskin has to be choger. Nail. We already mentioned, but it's proved that elsewhere in his Karam the Ram does mention the Chagira of a nail. So you have to say the Torah means the Kim Shal Shchita Chagira Siporin, since Nechashid doesn't mention Chagira Siporin, but rather just even the most minute imperfection. Shu doesn't hold that Chagira Siporin doesn't hold means like the Rashba, the belting in shot. The Rambam, Rashba, the Kimakoshu. Well, actually, it's not. The Rashba is the one who said Yeah, belt again, right? I think that's what we had. Uh, uh, we had, yeah, Lashon Chagura, yeah. Um, Rama Karash B'Gima Koshu Treifo is that Emes Koshu B'Ram Siyat Ishmael. Okay, I'm not sure that I get this Aruch HaShulchan business here because okay, it doesn't I thought the Rashba is a deeper because it has to belt in the nail. It sounds like you're saying no, it's the most minute pagam. But the truth is, the Rambam's Lashon Telem also seems to indicate something deeper than just a minute nick. Okay, but let's see what he says in the next if. I was there, the Zesh Kasa, the Rosh, Yud. I was Zesh Kasa, that which Rosh Cholik the Din Alem. So they Trev Rakadeshi Tak Yakbor Siporen, which evidently is more significant. Tema is astonishing. You can find his Bash and it seems like, according to Arukh HaShulchan, certainly that's what he said. They only argue how to explain the semantics of Chagigas Tziporim. Lo because they not in the primary lachas. The hedge because Rosh the Chada Milsa B'dika the Bisa B'Tufa in Chagigas Tziporim. That it's one thing the checking with flesh and with nail with the Chagigas Tziporim. Tzarech L'mad the Turas Vila half a common as a Rosh. Tur must hold the opposite of the Rosh. The B'dika of the Bisa B'Tufa became a Gedoyla Chagigas Tziporim. Checking with the nail and with the flesh also checks for larger imperfection, just like Chagis Yiparim. It's not like checking the sun and the water, which will get you a even a more minor imperfection will become apparent. Okay, so he says that the Bekima of the Rashba is a large Bekima. Because it's Lashon Chagura. And the said Polik, but the plea Polik, what do you argue? What's the machlokas? The Rashi said, "Because the beast of Betufar, Beikot and Mechagir Tzipochen." Rashi holds that the checking on flesh and nail is a much smaller nick than the one you identify by the belting in of the nail. But I said, the Rosh holds it's the same thing. Coming in the nevertheless in terms halacha yoda Torah, the Torah could see the b'kima koshu treifa that even the slightest nick is treifa. I feel in my Rosh ain't no so very came the daito. Even the Rosh doesn't hold that way. Can't come out Rambam v'Rashba Rabbi Haim negdo hakikaim alon which cause Rabbi Bezeh Shulchan Shivim Siv Zayin. So the bottom line is that any nick is apostles. Okay, that's it for today.